Forget the glass slipper you think you know, because in the shadowed halls of Ironwood Manor, a girl named Lyra isn't waiting for a prince to save her. She's planning a revolution against the stepfamily who stole her legacy. And while they flaunt their stolen wealth, Lyra discovers an ancient forbidden magic hidden deep in the ashes that grants her exactly one night to reclaim her birthright at the royal masquerade. But this isn't just a standard rags to riches fairy tale. It is a high-stakes game of deception, where one wrong move means losing her soul before the clock strikes 12. So, you are about to witness the most shocking plot twist in fantasy history. So don't blink, because the real magic is just beginning, right here in Ironwood Manor, where the walls used to echo with laughter, but now only whispered secrets. And for Lyra, life had become a relentless cycle of chores and insults ever since her loving father passed away, and her stepmother, the cold and calculating Lady Vesper, took control of the estate, turning Lyra from a beloved daughter into an unpaid servant in her own home. And to make matters worse, Vesper had brought along her two daughters, Mara and Jade, who were as vain as they were cruel, constantly obsessed with status and the latest royal gossip, spending their days mocking Lyra's tattered clothes and smudged face, calling her Ash Girl, while they paraded around in silk gowns bought with the money meant for Lyra's future. But what they didn't know was that Lyra possessed a strength they couldn't break, a resilience forged in the fire of her hardship. And she held on to a promise she made to her late mother, to always be kind and have courage, even when the world seemed dark. Yet kindness didn't mean she was weak, because Lyra was smart, and she saw everything, observing how Vesper mismanaged the estate and treated the staff poorly, fueling a quiet fire in Lyra's heart to one day set things right. And that opportunity finally arrived when a golden invitation was delivered to the manor, announcing the Royal Masquerade Ball, an event thrown by the king not just to find a bride for his son, Prince Julian, but to find a partner capable of helping him lead the kingdom into a new era. And the stakes were incredibly high, because the rumor was that the prince was looking for someone with vision, not just a pretty face, which sent Lady Vesper into a frenzy of planning and spending, determined to get Mara or Jade on the throne to secure their power forever. And naturally, when Lyra asked if she could attend, seeing as the invitation was for every maiden, the cruelty of her stepfamily reached a breaking point as they laughed in her face and tore apart the simple vintage dress she had mended from her mother's trunk, leaving her in tears amidst the ruins of her hope. But as she wept by the old stone hearth in the kitchen, something incredible happened. Not a fairy godmother popping out of a pumpkin, but a manifestation of the ancient magic that lived within the very stones of Ironwood Manor. The spirit of the house itself responding to her pure heart and righteous anger, swirling around her in a vortex of silver dust and starlight, weaving a spell that didn't just dress her up, but revealed her true inner nobility, transforming her rags into a gown of shimmering midnight blue that looked like it was cut from the night sky itself. And on her feet appeared not just shoes, but slippers made of unbreakable, diamond-hard glass that reflected the truth of whoever wore them. But the spirit warned her with a voice like cracking embers that this illusion was temporary and bound by the laws of time, meaning when the clock tower chimed 12, the spell would shatter and she would be left with nothing but her courage. So, with a heart pounding like a war drum, Lyra stepped into a carriage forged from the very pumpkin she grew in her garden, now transformed into a sleek, glowing coach, and raced toward the castle with a determination that burned brighter than any chandelier. And when she arrived at the royal ball, the entire room fell silent, not just because she was beautiful, but because she radiated an aura of power and mystery that captivated everyone, including Prince Julian, who had been bored to tears by the shallow conversations he'd endured all night. But the moment he locked eyes with Lyra across the crowded ballroom, he felt a magnetic pull that he couldn't explain. And as they danced, they didn't just sway to the music. They talked about real things, about justice and mercy, and how to help the people of the kingdom. And Julian realized that this mysterious girl in the mask understood his heart better than anyone he had ever met, making this the ultimate romantic fantasy moment that every Cinderella story tries to capture. But as the night wore on and their connection deepened, Lyra lost track of time, caught up in the dream of being seen for who she really was, until the heavy, ominous sound of the clock tower tolling the first stroke of midnight shattered the moment, forcing her to pull away from Julian's grasp and flee the palace, running down the grand staircase as the magic began to dissolve around the edges. And in her haste, one of the glass slippers slipped from her foot, but she couldn't stop to retrieve it, disappearing into the shadows just as the final chime rang out, leaving Julian heartbroken and holding the only clue to the woman who had stolen his heart, which led to a kingdom-wide search the very next morning, with the Grand Duke traveling from house to house, commanded to try the slipper on every maiden until the owner was found. And when he finally arrived at Ironwood Manor, Lady Vesper was desperate, locking Lyra in the attic and forcing Mara and Jade to squeeze and shove their feet into the delicate shoe. But no amount of pushing could make the magic slipper fit a foot that walked in cruelty. And just as the Duke was about to leave, defeated, a quiet melody hummed through the floorboards, the house itself unlocking the attic door, allowing Lyra to step out on the landing, still in her dusty work clothes, but holding her head high. And despite Vesper's screeching protests and attempts to shatter the slipper the Duke held, Lyra calmly descended the stairs and produced the matching glass slipper from her pocket, the ultimate proof that she was the one, shocking her stepfamily into silence as she sat down and slid her foot into the shoe with ease, causing a wave of magic to ripple through the room and reveal her true identity to the Duke, proving that true love and justice always find a way. And when Prince Julian returned to escort her to the palace, he didn't just see a princess. He saw his equal, his partner, and the woman who would help him rule with kindness, leaving Lady Vesper and her daughters to face the consequences of their greed, as Lyra reclaimed her family name in Ironwood Manor, turning it back into a place of warmth and joy, proving to the world that no matter how dark the night gets, the sun will always rise for those who keep believing. And if this story of triumph and karma warmed your heart and made you believe in magic again, please smash that like button, share this video with someone who needs a little hope today, and don't forget to hit subscribe so we can bring you more amazing stories every single day, because we are on a mission to hit 100,000 subscribers, and we can't do it without you. So join our family and let's keep the magic alive together.